An interesting announcement is that we now can much more easily ingest XML files with Databricks autoloader and copy into commands. So XML is a very popular file, to be honest, and we have a lot of data engineers struggling managing this file because they are semi-structured, they can be very big, the structure is not easy to identify, and that creates a lot of difficult ETL and data engineering pipelines. But now we support that with autoloader, right? So autoloader natively supports ingestion of XML files and copy into command as well. So if we have a look here, so this is for batch workloads, no autoloader involved. So what we can do is we can just do spark.read and you put XML and you give the path to the data. And then if you want to use autoloader for this, again, you use the format for cloud files for autoloader, and then you specify the option of XML in the format for autoloader. And then also you can specify the schema path so that you make sure that you check the schema of each XML row given the XML schema you have available. And also we can support schema evolution as well, which is great.
Yeah.
So this will facilitate a lot the data ingestion of XML files.
Yes, it's really good that you can benefit of all the goodness of autoloader, which is, schema enforcement, schema evolution without having to worry or having to reformat everything or, use external packages. So it's great that it's now supported.
Good call, because before you had to import specific packages to parse the XML files or turn them to other formats, right? Where now it is natively supported.
Liquid clustering is now GA. So liquid clustering, it's a really, really nice capability that we have now because it really solved the whole issue of finding the right partitioning strategy, right? Because it's been so complicated for data engineers, to know like, what column should I partition by? Maybe I want to partition by timestamp, but then you have high cardinality, or, like one team wants to filter on one column, whereas another team wants to filter on another column, etc.
Are my partitions too small, too big, too what? Right?
Exactly. And then you just, it was really restricted by, the need to like concurrently write to the table. On top of that, you have the ordering jobs that are expensive, require longer write times, etc. And so liquid clustering was really introduced as a way to have a no-knob approach to doing, data layout management on Databricks, which is great because not only is it, improving query performance, but the amount of time that is spent doing those things, like the amount of time that can be saved, not doing those things is really good, I think.
Yeah, and back to the thing that we want to make the simplest platform ever, we had to really find a way to simplify the way of partitioning tables.
Yeah, because it's not an easy problem to solve, right? And so now basically it just does the optimal clustering performance for you. As you can see here, before you had to do partitioning and the order, and now you no longer have to do that when using liquid clustering. And on top of that, you get concurrency guarantees, which is really interesting.
Yeah, so here it says that we provide record level concurrency support, which is amazing because before we could have write operations in different partitions, but now you can do in the same partition as long as it's a different row.
So something that's really interesting that just came out is that now you can basically bind storage credentials and external locations to specific workspaces. It's in public preview. It's not GA yet, but I think it's quite interesting because that really prevents access to those objects from other workspaces, which was not
an option before.
Exactly. And so it's really helpful if you want to use workspaces to isolate user data access, for example, if you have separate, production and dev like workspaces or a dedicated workspace for handling sensitive data.
An interesting thing is what happened to Databricks repos, Lara?
I don't know. You tell me, Maria. I have no idea what this doc is about, actually.
So guys, the repos tab, when we link our repos to Databricks, is actually rebrand.
It's rebranded.
So it's still there, but you will find it now as Git folder. Now, the functionality more or less remains the same. It's just for better organization, because now you don't need to go to the specific repo space to link your repos. You can have them under the workspace. So you can go to any space into the workspace and link your repos, which is great, just to simplify the behavior mainly. Yeah. And if you think about what's going to happen to the repos is going to move under workspace/repos. So all your repos can be found there in case you don't find your repos. And any existing references that were working under repos will continue to work, like the jobs, the DB utils, run commands as well. So a little change in the structure, I would say, rather than basic, like big change.
Private data sharing using Databricks private exchanges. So don't know about you, but I had heard of like clean rooms and the marketplace. With private exchange, so public marketplace, as you know, you can just publish, like data, models, etc. to a broad audience, and you can also monetize them. But there are some like use cases where you want to be able to share, but you want to be able to share only with some people. So for example, imagine that you're a conglomerate with multiple subsidiaries. You do not want to license or monetize your data with the entire planet, but you would love to have a marketplace where you can share data securely with, like a network of external partners. So for example, partner retailers, suppliers, distributors, or even, with teams, in
different locations.
In different locations that may not be aware of, all the work that you've been doing as a data team. And so here you can use that to share data between subsidiaries through a marketplace. So you make the data discoverable, right? Because I think if you use data sharing, there's not the discoverability aspect of it. So I find this new capability to be very, very interesting.